God damn, I need IPA.
This is Beering Ain't Easy, your podcast for beer humor, dad humor, and beer tastings from Texas and beyond. So crack one if you got one and turn it up.
Welcome to Beering Ain't Easy, Season 2, Episode 22, with Ryan and Drew.
All right, welcome, y'all. It has been way too long since the Beering Ain't Easy podcast has been back on the air, and it's been quite a month. How about you, Ryan? Has it been a little hectic over on your end?
Yeah, lots of travel, lots of worrying about you, man. You doing all right?
Yeah, I'm not even posting on social media. That's how busy my month's been. It's like started out with a week of COVID, which actually was like a legit this time. The last time I thought I had it, it wasn't that legit, but this one knocked me out for about a week. And then I've been on working 80 hours a week for like a freaking month almost. So it's been a month.
So I would say this was our summer break, but it was quite the opposite for you, it sounds like.
Yeah, it was not a summer break at all. But now we're back, baby.
Yeah, I got excited. I got a text from Drew on Thursday, and he just says, finally starting to feel better. I'm ready for a damn beer. I was like, uh-oh, the podcast is back on. Let's go.
Back in it. Oh, man. And so we were trying to figure out like what's the perfect episode to come back on the air. And Ryan's idea, it was perfect. And in true Beering Ain't Easy fashion, we're going to go back to a beer experiment. Ryan, you want to give a little heads up to the listeners what we're doing today?
A lot gets said and advertised about the glassware that gets used out there. And you know what? Consider me skeptical if these different beer glasses actually make all that much of a difference. I think it's more of like a statement. So we're going to put that to the test this week. We're going to try beers out of different glasses and see if it really makes a difference to our experience.
Does beer glassware make a damn difference? I feel like this is a little bit of a setup though, because if we say that it doesn't make a difference, then someone who manufactures those glasses is probably just going to be like, look at these amateurs. They don't have the palate refined enough to tell the difference of our perfect crystalline matter here.
That's true. But also, like you said, in true Beering Ain't Easy fashion, I'm going to use it again. In true Beering Ain't Easy fashion, I'm making a bold statement that I'm going to spend the rest of the episode proving myself wrong about.
So not only are we doing a beer experiment today, we also have a very special guest coming on to do a little promo for a really awesome Houston event in August. You may recognize her, but hold that thought. Like before we get kicked off, what is the most you've ever spent on a beer glassware? And what was it?
Well, if I can cheat a little bit, I'll say joining the St. Arnold Society was the most expensive beer mug I've ever bought.
Yeah, damn straight.
It's apparently a handmade pewter mug with my name engraved in it. But if it's a real answer, honestly, I'm not really sure. But I was looking through my beer glass collection, which is way, way smaller than before I moved to the burbs. It's still probably 100 deep though. But most of the glasses I got for free, or got like for like less than $10 at breweries and stuff. The IPA glass that we're going to use tonight, I got as a present. Yeah, honestly, I don't think I've ever actually spent that much on a beer glass. How about you?
It's not like an insane amount of money, but I did spend about $20 on a single glassware, and it's by far my favorite glassware of all time. And I put it in almost all my social media posts. It's the Wu-Tang Clan glass where it says Wu-Tang is forever.
I was going to say, the second you started talking about it, I realized I knew exactly where you were going.
Yeah.
Which it is one of the best glasses I've ever seen.
So the thing about like beer glassware is like there's all these websites and these people that do it, and they always make a limited supply, and they let you know explicitly that it's a limited supply and you need to log on. It's almost like a beer release, and it gets you hyped up, and you get on and you're like, man, I got to get this glassware. So when I saw Wu-Tang was coming from Poor Character, I jumped on there one time and I missed it. And the second time I came back and I got it, and they haven't made it since. So I'll be damned if I break this thing. I like bubble wrap it when I go to bed. So Ryan, what beer and what glassware are we going to put to the test first?
Let's go through the beers, and then we'll do a quick run through the glasses, and then we'll start pairing them off. How about that?
Sounds good.
So I guess I'll start with the lightest one. The one that we're synchronized on this beer. It's the Saloon Kemah Suprema. It's their new Texas lager, coming in at 4.7%.
And I love the can art in this one. This is probably my favorite can art of Saloon Door. It's it has a very much Kemah Boardwalk / Atlantic City feel to it.
Yes, for sure.
So I'll take us to the next one. We're going. We've got a lager, we've got an IPA, and we've got an amber. So we kind of veered off a little bit on the beers. So the IPA that I got is from Equal Parts, and it is called 11th Hour. It's a double dry hopped IPA with Centennial, Citra, Mosaic, and Simcoe hops.
Nice. So mine's not technically a true IPA. It's Zeno's Pale Ale from Lone Pint.
Dude, when Ryan and I had a little family trip, we went to Port Aransas, and I brought some of that along with me, and that beer is good, man. I'd forgotten how good that pale ale is, so I'm a little jealous.
Yeah, speaking of that family trip, if it's any testament to how busy Drew has been, he shows up Friday night and leaves like Saturday afternoon. That's how like busy he was.
Came in for a few beers, crashed like crazy, took the kids to the beach, and then back to work.
All right, so the last style we're hitting up here is the amber. For this one, I got Altstadt, their amber alt beer, coming in at 4.8% out of Fredericksburg, Texas.
Oh, you know that one will be good too. And I'm actually coming in with an out-of-state beer here. My parents came and visited a couple of weeks ago from Arkansas, and they brought some Arkansas beers at my request. And so this is from Flyway Brewing Company in Little Rock, Arkansas, and is the Flying Duck Amber. It looks very Arkansas-y. It's got like a duck and a nice lake there. It's one with nature.
I was going to say, when you said Flying Duck, I immediately pictured Duck Hunt, like the Nintendo game, and I'm glad to see that the can art's basically like an artistic rendering of that idea.
Yeah, it wasn't just stealing 90s intellectual property.
Yeah, loved that meme.
All right, what are you feeling as your entry level beer here? I got to crack something open.
I feel like I'm ready to get into this and like jump in head first. What do you say we start with the hoppy beer?
Heck yeah, man! I've been dying for an IPA.
Yeah, I think if we were going to be really technical about it, we'd want to save hoppy for last. But who are we? Who are we to act like we're technical here?
What are we, professionals or something? I don't know. So, what glassware have we lined up today for the IPA experiment?
So a lot of the listeners out there probably have seen or heard about these IPA glasses that are designed specifically for hoppy beers, and we really want to put this to the test. So we're going to put it up against your typical bar pint glass. They call it a shaker glass. It's the one that 9 times out of 10, if you order it somewhere, you're going to get it in this glass. So we're going to put them side by side, the standard with this IPA glass, and really see if it makes a difference.
And it's not just any IPA glass. I believe it's the Spiegelau. I can't pronounce that worth a damn. It's the one where you've got the grip at the bottom, and you walk around looking like you mean business when you're drinking this glass.
I'm an idiot. I poured almost my entire IPA into the first glass before I realized I needed to split it. I'm going to go get the other one real quick. That's fucking dumb. All right. So anyway, this, like Drew says, is the IPA. It's got the grip to it. So the kind of the technical description for this IPA glass is it's got ridges on the bottom half to kind of aerate the beer as you go to drink it, and that's supposed to release aromas and additional flavors when you take a sip. So
yeah, I feel like we got to do like the nose test. We got to sniff both first, and then we got to taste to see if it opens up the nose.
Yeah, and then above the ridged area, it kind of bulbs out and then kind of tapers back up towards the top to kind of funnel those aromas towards your nose as you go to take a sip. So that's the idea behind the design of this glass.
So I'm not going to lie. The IPA glass is like 10 times more floral than my pint glass. There may be something to this.
Damn it, yeah. I get almost nothing out of the pint glass,
Yeah,
and out of the
like,
IPA glass, it kind of punches you in the nose.
Yeah, I really don't get any aroma, and the other one is like super intense.
All right, let's see if this translates to taste as well.
Let's do it. I don't get as much differentiation on the taste as I did with the nose, but I do get a little bit. I don't know if it's in my head now that I convinced myself that the nose is there, but I get a little bit more pop.
So the pop is the perfect descriptor for what I was about to say. Yeah, the flavor seemed pretty much similar to me. Obviously, yeah, we already said the aroma was better, but yeah, it seemed like the hop kind of bitterness, like juiciness, like popped a lot more out of the IPA glass than the shaker for me. I don't even know how to justify that. It's kind of surprising to me. I had to do it twice to make sure that I wasn't just like talking myself into that.
Yeah. I was going to say, like, I don't know if you can see it on my screen, but the head on the IPA glass, like I have a lot more foam that has not dissipated, but the pint glass, it's almost gone. So it's like holding in that foaminess too. I don't know if that helps with the extra aromas there or not. Yeah,
same. My head is about twice as thick on the IPA glass as the shaker. This pains me to say it, but I think this IPA glass like actually legitimately makes a difference. What do you think?
Oh yeah, hands down. It's definitely worth it.
Can I say something about this IPA glass real quick?
Yeah, let it out.
This is killing me inside. Because I think a lot of people know like what this IPA glass is, right? It's like a crazy looking glass. And I always get really self-conscious about it because if you pull this out in front of people that don't like know you that well, you're going to come off like such a pretentious like beer snob, like this fucking prick.
Who is this guy with his fucking grippy
glasses? So I'm always super nervous about this glass. And yeah, but apparently it legitimately makes a difference. So
now if anyone ever talks shit to you, you'll be like, look, you need to take the test. And come at me.
Yeah. Did you buy your IPA glass or did you get it as a gift?
I think I asked for it as a gift. It was a suggested gift idea.
I feel like that's probably an episode we should do sometime is like beer gifts, like for people like that know you're a beer drinker, so they like try to get you gift related to that.
And some of them fail and some of them don't.
Some of them are probably like pretty awful.
Yeah.
But this was actually a good one.
Nice. So I know we don't have it on the agenda. I've got mine on the sideline over here. Why didn't you have a Tiku glass to participate in the IPA taste off today?
So every time I move houses, I have to consolidate beer glasses. So my very first house, my now wife, my girlfriend at the time had just moved in, and all of a sudden I actually had to have more than like 3 plates and like 3 mugs and stuff. I had like 2 full cabinets dedicated to it. So I got rid of like almost all my pint glasses. And then at the second house, it grew again because I had a wet bar in our media room and then our kitchen, and I filled up a cabinet in each of those. So it grew again. So when we moved to the burbs, I had to consolidate again. So I had to purge all these glasses, and I had a Tiku glass that made it all the way up until then. And it doesn't stack. I'm always nervous about breaking it. I never used it for anything. So I was like, you know what? I'm not going to hold on to this thing anymore. And I gave it away. That's why I don't have a Tiku glass.
I actually took my my pint glass and I poured it in my Tiku just to see if I could get a side-by-side on this other one so I could make a true pitch on which is the best IPA glass.
The last time I used that Tiku glass it must have been like an Urban South HTX beer. It was like a smoothie beer. And it was like bright red, and I had it in there, and it was right when my daughter was starting to like stand, and she was standing on our coffee table. I just poured it, and I was watching my daughter, and Allison was gone somewhere, and she was standing there, and all of a sudden she takes a swipe with her arms and knocks over a full beer, this bright red beer, and it like ruined a couple coffee table books and like stained this tray we had sitting there. It was a mess. That was the last time I ever used it.
If you ever needed a reason not to drink fruited sours, there you go, right there.
Yeah.
They don't clean up as easily.
Fancy fruited sours out of pretentious glassware with a baby that's just learning how to control her body.
Do you drink with your pinky up? I will say the Tiku is still heads and tails above the pint glass as well. So I think there's something to these designed IPA glasses.
Yeah, it didn't take us long to have my whole theory start to unravel on me.
There's still time. There's still time for this. So while we're sipping on these IPAs, I almost wish Adam was on here because for a while there he was like following all these Instagram accounts of specialty glassware, and I can't remember some of the names of them off the top of my head, but they have some of these ones that look like goddamn like witches and warlocks, like just giant crystal. It's almost like a vase, and they're like, they're like smelted in the fires of Mordor, and they're like $250 a glass. And he was like, they look so cool though. I want to get one of those. And he never like bit the bullet and got one. But I was like, who's spending $250 on some fire made crystal glassware for drinking a goddamn Pilsner?
Yeah. Have you ever drank out of like a full on Stein with like the lid and stuff?
I actually have never done one with the lid on it.
Yeah, me either. It seems like it'd be a huge pain in the ass.
I mean, it's like going to get in the way, right? Like, I just imagine it like flapping in your face when you're trying to take a swig. Like, I mean, you have to like hold it depressed.
That's like, so yeah, it's got like a long curved thumb thing so that like when you hold the handle, you can like hold it open with your thumb. But I think, isn't the lid like to keep like bugs and dust out and stuff? I don't actually know why a Stein is the way it is. I should know this before I start talking about it. Moving on.
This has been your beer education moment with Ryan.
We're coming back in hot.
Yeah, we're back, baby.
Yeah, so I was about to say I'm not sure that the ridges actually do much to churn up the beer, but I just now got to the point where my beer is down in the handle, and the size of the head like grew as I started drinking from that section. So once the beer does get in there, I think it does actually make a difference.
It's science, man. I don't think I fully appreciated this beer glassware until we did this experiment.
Yeah.
Because before, like I've broken 2 of these. They're very thin glassware. They're not great to put in dishwashers because that's where I've broken it. You kind of, that thing when you're in the dishwasher and it kind of like flops over a little bit. So you try to straddle a couple prongs in the dishwasher, but if it's a little too tight, your beer glassware just completely shatters. Like that's what I've done to mine. It's like, oh, I think I can lodge it in there perfectly. And then you just hear this crack and it just goes to pieces. So these things piss me off, but maybe I will replenish my broken soldiers.
I very much appreciate what you're talking about because I feel like my entire childhood of Tetris like just prepared me for the day of being a dad and loading up the damn dishwasher.
You don't want to run that shit until it is like at capacity.
And whenever you think it's at capacity, we can fit plenty more in there. Just give me a minute.
Yes. I love this.
I can tell I'm a dad because I got some pretzels as a palate cleanser for between beers, which is one of my daughter's snacks, and I just instinctively put them in one of her snack bowls. So I'm eating her snacks out of her snack bowl as I drink our beer.
That's cute. All right, so we're gonna go amber style on this next beer, and from a glassware selection, Ryan, what have you chosen for the ideal glassware challenge?
So I think kind of the standard like glass that you would serve this in is like it's like a tulip or like a Belgian style glass. So it's kind of like the bulb flavor. And then it kind of tapers up towards the top, and right towards the top, it flares back out just a little bit. And kind of the idea for that flaring out is to capture the head while the taper most of the way kind of funnels the aroma, kind of like the IPA glass did. That bulbous shape allows you to kind of swirl it around if you want. That kind of releases more of the aromas as well. Theoretically, I don't know how true this part of it is, but it's got the stem below it so that you can put your full hand into there, and supposedly that's to help warm it up. If it's served at the proper temperature to start, then I don't understand how that would be like a thing, but whatever.
I see that our special guest has arrived.
Hey.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, our special guest has just joined us. You may remember Sylvia, the Houston beer mother, from a popular episode as the guide to the Houston beer scene with the Houston beer mother. So welcome, Sylvia. Welcome back.
Hey, guys. How are y'all?
Doing great.
Good to see y'all.
Yeah, it's been too long.
Really has been. At least a year.
Feels like it.
Yeah, which is wild. Drew was telling me earlier that next week is the 2-year anniversary of this podcast. I was like, wait, what?
Yay. Hooray. I'm glad to be back. What are you guys drinking?
Oh, we've got a little bit of a beer experiment going on, drinking a couple different beers. The most recent one I was drinking was the 11th Hour by Equal Parts.
Oh, awesome. That's brand new, right?
And yeah, Ryan's got
1 pint Zenos.
Nice. I've opted for a lone pint as well tonight.
Hey, nice.
So I'll be joining you guys on an IPA trip.
Nice. God damn it, Drew. I was talking and I poured my full fucking beer in this one again. I'll be right back.
Ryan has failed this experiment twice. Oh my god! So we're doing a beer glassware experiment where we're taking different glasswares with the same beer, and then we're judging whether it's worth it to buy the extra fancy glassware.
Ooh, okay. So the glass adds value to the taste sensory. It provides more. Okay. I can get down with that. I think you got something going there. So what are the, I don't want to ruin the show, but what have you guys discussed so far? Have you talked about tulips? That's what I'm drinking out of tonight. A tulip glass.
That's our next one.
Yeah. So we were drinking out of the designed IPA glass just a moment ago. The Spiegelau glasses with the grip handle on it. So, which unsurprisingly was way better than your traditional pint glass.
Interesting. I feel like that bottom piece, fits perfectly in your hand, and it provides a level of warmth I'm not sure I want on my IPA at the bottom.
It does get kind of warm at the bottom. You have to drink it fast. That's a good point that we did not cover.
We did not, even though literally when you joined, I was talking about with the tulip glass, how I've seen it said that like you can put more hand on it and it warms it up faster. And I don't believe if that was actually part of the design intent or not.
I think it's just a way to have your pinky out, and then that's it. You have to just hold it on the bottom.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the best way to hold the tulip is in the bottom from the base. Plus you have more control over it.
I mean, we live in Houston and it is so hot outside that like you don't need help getting your beer warm. You want to try to like not expedite the process.
That's right. We just got back into town we went to the Brazos River and spent a couple days out in the heat. And I'll tell you, the koozies were great, but we were drinking beers from can like nobody's business. I mean, it was just so hot outside.
Yeah.
It was great. A lot of Yellow Roads, a lot of summer pills. Been drinking the hell out of some summer pills right now.
That's a delicious beer.
Yep.
Yeah, that's one of my glasses too.
Oh, nice.
School summer pills.
Oh, it's got tie-dye. Very cool.
Yeah.
So the reason we brought Sylvia on is August is Houston Beer Month. And
hooray.
And there's a really awesome event that Sylvia was the mastermind on that we want to talk about today.
Yeah, it is Houston Beer Month. I hope you guys are celebrating. It looks like you're recording a podcast, so that's celebrating to me. But yeah, August is Houston Beer Month. And like we do each August, we try to give back to the community. This time it's in the form of a beer festival party. We're keeping it very low key this year. The event is going to be at Saloon Brewery in Webster. And it's going to be the last Saturday of August, which will be the 27th. And it's kind of an all-day event. And things kind of kick off at 1:00. If you have VIP tickets to the event, you're invited to a brewers discussion panel where we're going to have breweries like Valentin's, Elder Sons, and New Magnolia. Also, some other folks are going to be making some appearances to the panel. So we're going to drink some special beers. We'll have charcuterie lunch. And then once that kind of wraps up, we have the actual block party. So it's Houston Beer Block Party. the easiest way I can kind of explain how this is going to work is think of like tailgate style beer festival. And that's really what it is. So instead of kind of moseying around and waiting in line and, kind of dealing with the masses, right, of beer festivals, this is a little bit more intimate, more down to scale, gives attendees the opportunity to just, kind of mingle with, brewery owners and talk and actually pull up a chair and have a discussion, right? And not just have to get your beer sample and leave. So each brewery, we have 11 breweries right now. There's one that's kind of hanging on. We'll announce once that gets finalized and they're able to have somebody out. But we have 11 breweries, 2 beers a piece. There's going to be a lot going on in the Texas room. There's an after party. So it's a large party celebrating Houston beer. So you're going to also see some fun vendors, kind of the who's who of Houston beer vendors. I would say selling merch, selling product. We'll have some shirts. We'll have a DJ, a lot of live entertainment, and we're giving away a bunch of door prizes every hour. So we're just going to be giving away, backpacks and brewery t-shirts and gift cards and all kinds of cool stuff. So if you're interested in joining, we'd love to have you. I'll tell you that VIP is nearly sold out. We've got maybe 1 or 2 tickets left last time I looked this morning. And still plenty of general admission, which general admission is $40. It's going to give you access to the event from 3 to 8. And then you'll also get a 5-ounce tasting glass to use while you're on site. You'll get a tasting card, and then you'll have food on site, right? So it's just going to be one banging party, really. It's an excuse to celebrate Houston beer, and we're going to go bigger than we did last year. So actually, last year we had ours at Star Sather, and we had a great time. There was Frosttown Brewery, Brewing, I guess. Have you guys been out to the new brewery in
Not yet,
downtown?
but it's on the list.
No?
Not yet. Yeah,
Okay.
it's near the top of my list for sure.
Okay. They were really cool enough to come out last year to our party and had a, just kind of a beer sample event. They tasted their IPA, and I think they put out, I can't remember what the other beer was, but if you haven't had an opportunity to go out there, you definitely need to go. Super cool place.
So I got to ask, right when y'all announced this, I was like, okay, I'm going to this. Like, no doubt I'm going to be there. So I got my tickets already. Is this going to be primarily an indoor or an outdoor event?
It's a both. Predominantly, it's going to be outdoors, right? So we've got a large white covered tent, and then each brewery is going to kind of have their shade, right? So it is the end of August. It is warm out in Houston. But a lot of the VIP stuff is happening indoors. So it's more of a kind of a sit down thing for VIP. And then the general admission is like a block party. So it's going to be outdoors. There'll be fans. We'll have water stations and all of that stuff so you can kind of be comfortable. And we're encouraging people to kind of bring their chairs, right? Set up their own little block, kind of treat it as you would if you were going on a picnic or a tailgate party. Only we'll supply the beer this time.
Nice.
So we're really looking forward to it. I think the one thing is just there's going to be a lot of beer, and just stay hydrated. It's kind of it's one of those types of events. It is a 21 and up event. We are offering designated driver tickets. Thank you, Drew, for that, by the way. And it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up hydration. So one of the last times I went to a beer festival, it was actually the Science Museum, not this year, but last year they did a kind of a beer event at the Houston Museum of Natural Science. And it was kind of during one of those COVID waves, and they still had all the water fountains were all taped off. So there was zero water anywhere in that place, and that did not bode well.
We'll have free water from the tap. So it's.
I'm glad to hear that. I not only that, but I did the VIP package there, but it was a bigger glassware, and I don't know if it's because breweries were excited to have a festival of any sort, but instead of giving you the same pour in that bigger glassware, they were just filling it up. And I was like, no, it's okay. I really want to try a lot of different beers, and Yeah. Is the VIP package here? Is it include a larger glassware, or is it the same size?
So no, the only glassware we did this year was the 5-ounce sample taster glass. It's more of, just a, what would you call a bottle share glass, right? It's just a tasting glass. If you're anything like me, you probably have a million pint glasses just stored up in your attic, and I easily have at least 30 downstairs. And I've kind of myself been getting away a little bit from the glassware just because I'm collecting so much of it, right? And I think a lot of my friends and a lot of feedback that we've heard is we don't really want full-blown glassware. Like people are moving to like more taster style glasses, because they're at events like this, you don't want to have a full pour, or you don't want to have as much, right? The idea is to sit with the breweries, sit with, the owners and the reps and get to know them and taste their beer, right? It's more of an experience thing than, I guess for me, that's what I'm envisioning. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. That's like
kind of for quality over quantity here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
What you described definitely checks off both of those boxes for me. Is that I want to be able to try a whole lot of different beers from different breweries, stay hydrated, have a good time, and remember the experience.
Yeah, right. Exactly. That reminds me a lot of a beer festival that I attended. This is probably at least 6 or 7 years ago. It was called Houston Beer Fest. And it was easily, 50 to 60 breweries. And somebody out there I know went to this festival and they know what kind of shit show it was. I mean, it was just in the dead of heat, right? In the middle of downtown, no covered areas whatsoever, maybe some tree area a little bit. And just so many people, like just, it was like going to the zoo, but with beer. I mean, people were holding like 3 cups and I mean, things were crazy. And so some of those beer festivals, the larger ones, I think are good for that reason, right? Trying a whole bunch of beers. But, this Houston Beer Block Party is more of a way of, showcasing some of the breweries that also support what we do, right? They have a very active following. We often write articles about them on Houston Beer Guide. It's about giving back to them, right? Giving them another avenue just to market themselves, really, right? So we're hoping that the people that purchase tickets to the Houston Beer Block Party are going to get a little bit more out of it than just going to get wasted on Saturday night. Although I'll tell you again, there's going to be a lot of beer there. So you're going to get your fix for sure.
Something for everyone.
It's just more of just hanging out. Yeah, it's a block party. It's like meeting your neighbors, right? Meeting your community. That's exactly what it is. So I hope you guys will join us. Ryan, did you get your tickets?
Here's the part where Ryan comes up with a lame excuse.
I have a work event that night, so I cannot drink heavily for 3 hours and go straight to a work event, unfortunately.
You need to work on that.
I know.
Balance.
Yeah, I was hoping that you would shame him into coming, Sylvia, by coming on. So
we'll see. I may like figure out a way to swing it where I can go for a couple hours and then go home and chill for a little bit and then go to the dinner.
Go home and take a nap.
So there's discussions to be had here. If I were to get a ticket, where would I find them, Sylvia?
Well, I'm glad you asked. HoustonBeerGuide.com will have all the information about the festival itself. If you want to go directly to the storefront, it's shop.HoustonBeerGuide.com, and you'll be able to find the ticket prices there, everything that you get with it. We've got 2 good food vendors as well, cooking things like tacos and smash burgers. And HoustonBeerGuide.com. That's where you can find the tickets. We hope you can make it.
Sweet. And what about the whole Houston Beer Month? Do you want to talk about that at all?
Yeah. So Houston Beer Month is just like any type of beer week or beer month. It's a celebration of Houston beer. So this is an opportunity for you to get out of the house, go pick up some beer to go to the tap room, this is just a way to remind yourself to always support local. So keep purchasing beer from breweries, just get out there and support the industry. That's really what Houston Beer Month is about. There's a lot of great beer that we have in the city. And so I feel like they need an opportunity to shine. Plus, it's hot in Houston, so might as well have a beer. That's what I say. Anyways.
We'll quote you with that.
Like that.
What is the next glassware? I'm dying to know.
Yeah, so we just had finished talking about the tulip, and what we're going to pit it up against is the what's called the Craftmaster Grant glass. It's kind of almost a hybrid between kind of the tulip and the IPA glass. It's got a unique kind of shape. If you've been to several breweries, you've probably seen one of these somewhere. Yeah, it's got the same idea where it kind of has the wide bowl with tapers up and funnels the aroma into your nose with that flared tip to kind of conserve the head. So yeah, we're gonna see if these two glasses make a difference with amber beers. When I was researching this glass, I learned something interesting, and it's if you look up a picture of the glass online, it's got like the lip, and it's so they actually stack. When you stack them upside down, that lip catches so that the weight of the glass doesn't sit on that flared lip, so it doesn't chip that lip.
So they're stackable.
They are stackable.
Interesting. I just drink out of mine because it's got Wu-Tang Clan on it.
I'll be kind of embarrassed to show you my glassware cabinet right now. It's out of control. I really need to get rid of at least 100 glasses just in my cabinet, one for one. What's the weirdest shaped glass you have? Do you have one that looks like a boob?
I can't say that I do. Now
it looks like a tiki bar glass.
Yeah.
This is one of my favorite glasses to put it in. It's Instagram ready as well.
Yeah.
Do you pour straight in or do you use a funnel?
Oh, no, I pour straight in. Just pour slow. I had a gentleman, a fine Instagram gentleman, post or send me a message asking me to buy one of my glasses. And he said he would give me $150 for it. It's one of those old Ghost in the Machine glasses.
Oh, dang.
So I was like, no, I'm going to keep it, I guess.
Yeah, I'd be like really nervous that there was
I know
ulterior motives here.
Trying to get your address or something. Yeah.
Here I am trying to get rid of glasses, like trying,
And someone offers you $150 for a glass and you didn't take them up on it.
Yeah.
Drew, have you tried these side by side yet?
I have, and I've been withholding my judgment. I think amber is not a great beer choice to compare glassware with. I don't think it really matters what you drink it out of. That's my hot take.
I disagree, sir.
What about aroma? I mean, that should have been the first thing.
The aroma is so much better out of this. Like, honestly, for a second, I thought I was drinking two different beers out of these two different glasses. Like, that's how much of a difference I noticed to these two. I was like shocked. I don't know if you saw me over here. I was going back and forth like crazy because I was like, what the fuck's happening right now? I don't know. It's just like way more caramely. It seems like way more depth of flavor, and it like lingers on the tongue longer. I don't know, man. I'm like blown away right now.
Wow.
This one I thought they were going to taste like the same because they weren't like that crazy different, but I almost get more of a difference with this than I did with the IPA.
That's wild because that's a little different experience than I had. I didn't spend enough time on the nose, and I will give you that the tulip glass, you get a lot more complexity of the nose. So are you going to become a beer glassware salesman now, Ryan?
Dude, I'm going to be the most obnoxious guy. Next time you offer me a beer, I'm going to ask you what glass you're serving it to me in.
Oh, man. Some of my favorite places have very unique glassware things. So there's a restaurant here in Friendswood. It used to be called the Brasserie. They've changed the name to like something else. I can't remember. But if you walk in there, every beer that they have on tap comes with its own glassware. And so it could be branded glassware or it could be, this to the style, but every beer on tap has its own specific glassware that it goes in, and they don't mix and match. Like they won't, if you go in there for a Guinness, they're going to serve it in an imperial pint, so that's kind of cool. A little snobby, but kind of cool.
I think I'm into this. I think I'm that guy now.
I mean, the Flying Saucer kind of does that a little bit. They have a lot of glassware at the Flying Saucer, and they try to like match the glassware to the beer you're getting. So I kind of like that about them.
Just an extra touch, right? Or even when you go to a brewery or a bar that will wash the outside of your glass after it's been poured. I guess like a little hose or something. Not really a hose, but it's a nice touch to rinse the outside of your glass, and it's not sticky or anything, and it's clean.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of glassware, like cleanliness is one of those things that's like it's almost an internet meme in itself, is that beer groups are notorious of taking a picture when they get a dirty glassware. Like, what's that all about, Sylvia?
I don't know. It's just the internet. Really. It's just someone just wants something to complain about. They're like, hey, your glass is dirty. Okay.
Still tastes good.
I mean, if I'm going to take a picture, I'm going to make sure that my glass is not dirty, for one. I'm just going to at least have the respect. But if I'm not taking a picture of it and it just happens to be poured in a plastic bubbly cup, then oh well. That's just it.
We'll come back to that thought later.
Yeah, we got a twist.
So what brewery were those beers from? The Ambers?
My parents just visited from Arkansas, so this was actually a Little Rock beer. So that's the only amber I had in my fridge. But Ryan's
awesome.
got
Altstadt.
Yeah.
Thanks for supporting local, Drew.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it.
Just
I was like,
kidding.
it's local amber. But my next beer you'll be appreciative of.
Yay, Kemah Suprema.
Yeah, we're matching up on that one.
It's definitely something I drink. Kemah Suprema. I guess over the last year, I've really been taking a step away from IPAs. Just, I don't know, going to more cleaner beers, more approachable, a lot of lagers and stuff. People say this is kind of the evolution of the beer nerd, right? But Kemah it's just a good beer. It's so well balanced. It's got that little biscuit bite from the malt, but it's very clean and easy to drink. Definitely one of my favorites.
Ryan, you want to take us to our last and final beer experiment here?
So like we talked about, our last beer is Kemah Suprema, our lager. And, a lot of times, we had our family trip to the beach last weekend. We have lagers you're going to be drinking outside. We already did the hot beer experiment. But, if you're drinking outside at the beach or something, there's no glass containers allowed, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to test the standard shaker glass with your standard solo cup. We're going to see if glass versus plastic actually makes a difference. What do you think is going to happen, Drew?
I don't know. I have a soft spot in my heart for solo cups and beer pong, so I don't know that it's going to taste bad, but I have a feeling it may give a little bit of a aftertaste to the beer.
Do you think nostalgia is going to play a part in your decision?
It may play a part. There's something that feels right about that solo cup in the hands.
Yeah, I like a cup with a little give,
Yeah, if you can't have a strong grip, you have to have like a gentle hands.
So here's a question: which one are you going to start with?
I feel like the standard pint glass is kind of like our baseline glassware, so you got to start with that on each one.
That's fair. I'll do the same. I mean, I think we're going to enjoy this beer either way. This is good.
Yeah, I don't think there's a lose situation on this.
All I can think about when I pick up a solo cup to drink out of it is that I've just been scored on in beer pong. Yeah, I just like feel a sense of like sadness when I take a drink of it.
I will say that having the little plastic ridge on the top when you're drinking out of that, there's something about it that just like starts giving you like Keystone Light vibes. And so I feel like you got to go with the glassware. Like it's not that it tastes different, but it's a texture. It's a texture issue of the glass itself.
It tastes more carbonated out of the glass, and it tastes more flat out of the solo cup to me.
I'd like to know, is there some sort of a reaction based on the material contents here?
Oh, well, the the drag on the cup of plastic versus glass, turns it up and releases more of the carbon dioxide.
That's what we're here for, Ryan.
That's what we're going with.
Drinking out of solo cups is very keg party-ish.
It really is.
All right, hold that thought. I got one thing I got to test here. Much to Ryan's dismay, I've brought a wild card into the situation here. Don't shoot me for doing this, but it's for science. I've poured some Kemah Suprema into a frosty mug.
I'm in support of that.
Because we could not tell a measurable taste difference between the solo cup and the pint glass, we're going to have to put one into a frosty mug to see what the flavor profile does.
This is what's called a callback.
This is back to the days before Drew drank craft beer. This is the mug that I have not used in many years, and I actually had to put it in my freezer today for this experiment.
I was going to ask if this was intentional or if you actually had that in there.
I had to make room in the freezer for it today.
Well done, sir.
How much do you want to make about he's going to pour the beer that's in the pint into the frosty mug and then just drink that?
Yes.
Yes, I can imagine this happening. It actually wouldn't surprise me if you poured the leftovers from the other two beers into it too, at the rate this is going.
So it does dampen the flavor in the frosty mug as expected, but there's something to be said about an ultra chilled cold beer. It's like you pulled it out of the cooler. It's a lot colder than what I've had sitting on the table. So there's a time and a place for a really ultra cold beer. And I feel like this is a type of beer that you could do that with and not feel terrible about yourself doing so.
Yeah, no, that's great.
I think the time and the place is when your father-in-law brings over Michelob Ultras and leaves them in your fridge when he leaves, and then you can bust that out.
Yeah. All right. Final words on the Kemah Suprema glassware, Ryan. What are your thoughts?
This was the closest of our three competitions today. The glass ekes it out just because of the, I don't know if it's actually the carbonation or the perception of the carbonation, but it's real to me. All right.
If it's real to you, that's all that matters.
In every single one of our experiments, the fancy glass won. And that pains me because I wanted it to be a wash and I wanted to be able to drink out of whatever I wanted. I'm about to go get a coffee mug and try this test again.
I'm sure Sylvia has a number of different types of glasswares that we did not try today. So that means there's a part 2 to this episode.
Absolutely. Wooden mugs, steins, tikus. You missed out on a lot. Lots of glassware.
I think for next year's experiment, we all need to get a boot and we can try this out.
Does it make a difference if you twist at the end?
We have to do this experiment. Yeah. We got to twist.
Oktoberfest is coming up. I mean,
that's exactly what I was going to say. Oktoberfest is just around the corner.
They're already selling pumpkin beers, so it's just around the corner. All right, I think that takes us to the end of our episode. Today, it was great to be back and recording after a month of absence. Great to do another Beer Ain't Easy experiment, and it was really awesome to have our special guest back on. Sylvia, thanks for coming back on. It's always great to talk to you.
Yep, absolutely. Can't wait to see you guys. You too, Ryan.
I feel like I have to be there now.
Yeah,
you're on the hook
too.
Ryan, do you have any closing thoughts before we close out the episode?
All right, everyone, head to HoustonBeerGuide.com. See what's going on with Houston Beer Month and buy tickets to the Houston Beer Block Party. As for me, I think I'm going to go see what glass goes best with humble pie because it's pretty clear that the glassware makes a big difference, and I'm now a believer.
We'll see y'all next time. This has been a Beering Ain't Easy production out of Houston, Texas. Follow us on Instagram or Facebook or at our website at crossthestreamsmedia.com, where you can find our podcast and all the other great sister podcasts on our network.
This has been a Cross the Streams Media Podcast.